You are now tuning in to the Roughnecks podcast with your host, Cole Nixon. Much love.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Roughnecks podcast. I'm your host, Cole Nixon, and my goal of this podcast is to bring on leaders in the world of athletics, coaching, entrepreneurship, and just life in general to try and motivate us all to be better. We shouldn't strive to be millionaires in terms of money, but by the millions of lives that we can impact. If you want to be a guest or have a guest idea that you would like to hear from, then shoot me an email at roughneckspodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review if you like this episode. Then head over to our social media and give us a follow on Instagram at Roughnecks Podcast, Twitter at Roughnecks Pod C1, Facebook at Roughnecks Podcast. And then don't forget to subscribe to the Roughnecks YouTube channel as well. As always, be sure to grab the bull by the horns and take control of your life. Let's get into this week's episode. What's up, everybody? Episode 52 of the Roughnecks podcast. And it also marks the 1-year anniversary of this podcast. It's crazy to think that it has been a year, something that literally just started for fun and has now been going on for a year. Today's episode is just me. And I just want to say thank you, first off, to everybody who has helped support this podcast over the past year. You guys have helped this grow into something a little more special than what I was expecting it to. And I really do appreciate it. And, you know, it's crazy to think that this podcast, like I said, started just for fun. Me and Teddy, one day we had a podcast my junior year of college, which would have been his senior year. And it wasn't that great. Let's be real. It was just a little rough. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, we said, let's do it again. Let's try and let's just start from scratch. And that's what we did. We started over and he looked at, well, I was trying to think of a name, couldn't think of anything good. And he looked at me and he said, Roughnecks. And I was like, perfect. So we went with it. Didn't even have a plan. That first episode, we had no script. We just went for it and just did whatever. And, you know, it was just kind of us introducing ourselves. And it turned into us just goofing around. If you know Teddy and I, then you guys didn't, that episode was not uncommon for us. That was actually dialed down from how me and Teddy really are. But, you know, we sat on his couch in his apartment and recorded, no microphone, no script. You know, we had a freaking, I don't even think we had a design. This design right here, I designed this after we recorded it and I made it myself. And it was just something that we just went with. And, you know, we went and didn't even have a mic. The computer was just sitting on my lap and we just went with it. And, you know, I now have a microphone, but I still have no idea who even sent it to me. Whoever sent it to me, if you're listening, I still do greatly appreciate it. I love this microphone, but like this podcast started very little and it just, I took it. Teddy had to step away, but I just kept going with it. And, you know, he was supposed to be here tonight. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. He's coaching a JV game right now. Like that's his life now. He's a coach and I'm very happy for him. But, you know, Teddy is a big reason that this podcast got to where it is as well. You know, he wasn't here the whole time, but he was the reason that I started it again, along with a lot of other people. But he helped this podcast begin to grow from the jump. And I really do appreciate you, Teddy. If you're listening, I really do appreciate you and everything that you've done for this podcast. We will have Teddy back on. Tex and Teddy will be on this podcast more than anybody other than myself, because Tex and Teddy helped create this podcast. He is part owner in a way still. But we, over the past 52 weeks, we've had 41 different guests. 41. I still can't believe that I've had 41 people agree to be on this podcast. But I really do appreciate every one of my guests. You know, we've had 3 guests that have came back on, and there's a few more that are potentially getting lined up to come back on as well. Like some of the guests that we've had on, we've had a lot of Ohio Wesleyan alum. I know some of you guys might not like the Ohio Wesleyan alum, but I have roots there. I went there, I graduated there, I spent 4 years and played football there. So I have a lot of connections through Ohio Wesleyan. And these people are who have gone on, you know, I played college football with a lot of them. And then some of them went on to start their own businesses, like Jermaine Fraser Phillips, who started Big Up Brew, which I highly recommend his coffee. It's awesome coffee. And congrats, Jermaine. Jermaine also just got engaged. So shout out to Jermaine on the engagement. But we also had Jerry Harper, who started One Speed Athletes. And, he's doing great things all the way out in California, a long way from Ohio. But, we've had almost every single one of Ohio Wesleyan coaches on this podcast, and they have some of the best knowledge that I've ever been around. And, there's going to be more that are coming on. I can guarantee that. And there's also going to be some my high school coaches, I bet, coming on eventually as well. We've had military members like Amber White and Sterling O'Hara. We've had podcasters like Casey Flaherty, the Traveling Mermaid, and Justin Witten, who has the Hunting Wolves podcast, Lindsay Carastensel, who has an awesome podcast called Be Bolder, to Dustin Myers, who is a co-owner of Old School Gym. And I believe he's also about to start his own podcast. We've had D1 athletes, Corey Hare, who kicked at Ohio University after leaving Ashland, Owen Fankhauser, who was one of my coaches my senior year of college. He played at Ohio State, was a walk-on at Ohio State, and hooked me up with another Ohio State guy who you guys might recognize as well, is CJ Saunders, who gave an awesome episode as well. He was a receiver at Ohio State, and then now he's playing for the Carolina Panthers. He's in the NFL. And speaking of the NFL, we had Carter Franklin, who now works for the NFL doing media. Some of his pictures and videos are insane, not to mention that he's also doing stuff with Myles Garrett, of all people. He'll be back on because originally when he was on this podcast, he wasn't even working for the NFL yet. But now he's working for the NFL. We've had Buster Douglas's son, Artemis Douglas, who also started his own company based off of his dad called Only My Best. And his apparel company is awesome. I highly recommend his stuff. It's some sweet stuff. We've had freaking Olympians, Joe Delagrave, who was on Team USA, the wheelchair rugby team, and just won a silver medal. We've had was some of my favorite or Yee Apparel. I love Yee Apparel if you know me, and I think you guys have picked up. Like, I've had two Yee Apparel guys, or Yee people in general, because we had Chris Lee, who was Granger Smith's tour manager, and we had Hayden Adcock, who was the director of marketing for Yee Apparel. And, next week you guys are going to get to hear from the bus drivers for Granger Smith, Butch and Bull, who gave an awesome episode. And I'm wearing their hat right now, the Risky Business, which I also highly recommend their merch. But we've had those guys, and hopefully one day maybe we'll get Parker or Tyler Smith, and then maybe even Granger Smith. Who knows? But this podcast continues to grow, and I can't thank you, my guest, enough. You guys have helped build this podcast, because without you guys, it wouldn't be anything. So thank you to all my guests. But most importantly, thank you to my fans. If you're listening right now, thank you so much, because the past year has been awesome. Without you guys, I would not be able to continue to go. If no one listens, there's no point in me having a podcast. So every one of you that listens, I really do appreciate it. It's such a blessing to be able to sit here, make a podcast that I didn't think people would honestly listen to. And it started out as fun and just kind of messing around, and it turned into a little bit of a motivational. I want to inspire you guys. And I'm not the one that's trying to do it. I'm trying to bring on other people who inspire me to be better people, who help you grow as individuals. And they're awesome guests. You guys are awesome though. My fans, without you guys, I would not be able to do a single thing. So I really do appreciate it. And I really hope you guys continue to listen, subscribe, do everything you got to do. Make sure you guys subscribe to that YouTube channel, though. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Hit that like button, and then also hit that subscribe button. I know I pointed the wrong direction, but that's okay. I'm trying to build that. Also follow on TikTok at Roughnecks Podcast. That just started not too long ago. Go follow that. There's some awesome behind the scenes content as well that comes into that. But thank you again to my fans. You guys are awesome. And because of my fans being so awesome, and we have this sale coming up, I got a giveaway to do. We just created something that is brand new. It has not been made before. There is only one of them made, and it is right here beside me. And I'm going to try and show it. If not, I'm going to insert the picture. Actually, I'm just going to insert the picture right here. It is the Roughnecks, first ever Roughnecks sweatshirt. I'm doing a giveaway, and there's multiple ways you can enter. You can enter up to 4. Actually, I believe you can enter up to 6 times. But you go on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, you can find the giveaway post. On Instagram, it's at Roughnecks Podcast, Twitter at Roughnecks Pod C1, Facebook at Roughnecks Podcast, and TikTok at Roughnecks Podcast. On Instagram, you can get a double entry. I believe on TikTok, you can also get a double entry. The other ones are just single entry. But you can enter up to 6 times to win this sweatshirt. So please enter, because I'm giving you a sweatshirt for free. And I really do appreciate that. And that is because of you guys. That is because of my fans. You guys have been here supporting me throughout the past year, and I can't thank you enough. But we're also, so the giveaway is going on this whole week. This Friday, which I don't know the exact date. I'm going to look at it real quick just to be sure on what the actual date is. Friday, the 24th, the giveaway closes at noon. So that is the last time you can enter, is up to noon, and I will announce the winners that night. But the sale, I have the Roughnecks sale coming up, which opens on September 26th. As you guys know, my sales that I do are only a week long because I am still the one distributing all the merch myself. Until I get the website set up, which is in the works, I'm the one doing everything. So I have it only a week, so I don't have to worry about, my person who makes my t-shirts doesn't have to worry about trying to do, shirts all the time. It can just be, she does them all at once and it's done. But I do sell stickers, koozies, and wristbands throughout the year. So if you ever want a sticker or koozie or wristband, just let me know, message me, DM me, do whatever you got to do, text me, and you can get I'll mail it to you. But I will have the sale open from Sunday, September 26th to Saturday, October 2nd. You can get some of the merch that we originally had, but I've done a little bit of a change where the t-shirts will only be, I'm going to put pictures up. The t-shirts were only going to be in the Roughnecks design, and the long sleeves will be in the Grab the Bull design, as you can see here. And then the sweatshirts will only be in the Roughnecks design as well, as you can see in the picture that I showed in the giveaway, and now you're seeing it again. But then we also got here, we got stickers that will be up for sale. We got the 2 designs you can get. If you spend $50 or more in the sale, then you will get 2 stickers for free. If you want extra stickers, buy 2 stickers and I'll still give you 2 for free. But I also have koozies, and then we got the red and black wristbands that say Grab the Bull on the horns by them on them. And then we also will have another special item. I'm not announcing it yet. It will come out soon, probably by the end of this week. You will see what the new item is, and I am super pumped for it. But just know the koozies right now are limited. The stickers right now are limited. The wristbands I have plenty of. But the item that I'm about to release, that'll be the first ever, it is limited. There's only 15 of them. So you will, if you want one, you need to grab one ASAP, because I have a feeling they're going to sell out pretty quickly. Oh, I also forgot, we do have the 3x5 flags. Those are also limited. Those, I believe I only have 2 left. But if you want one, I can get it to you. They're awesome. I'm super pumped with it. I got mine hanging up right behind me right now. And I also got another one in the barn. But I really do. I just wanted to say thank you again from the bottom of my heart. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys listen each and every week. Some of you, I know some of you guys listen all the time. Be sure to head over to YouTube and subscribe if you're not watching on YouTube. Also subscribe if you're just listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever it is. And then also please go follow our social media. That is where you guys will see the giveaways. And then the TikTok, if you follow on TikTok at Roughnecks Podcast, you get a little bit of behind the scenes. Instagram at Roughnecks Podcast, Twitter at Roughnecks Pod C1, and Facebook at Roughnecks Podcast. Go follow all of our socials. You'll get to see a lot of cool stuff. Some of the stuff that on TikTok is, like I said, behind the scenes. Some stuff you won't even see on any of our other socials, just on TikTok. But I really do appreciate all of you guys. You guys mean the world to me. Keep listening. Keep getting better. Each and every day is a new opportunity. Don't let that bowl of life knock you down. Get up, grab the bull by the horns, and take control of your life. Thank you again. But until later this week, hopefully we'll have another episode. Roughnecks out.
Oh, thank you.